Hello everyone, this is Atul Srivastav and topic for this session is how to achieve PCI DSS compliance. So PCI DSS compliance is actually a complex topic which requires lots of different documentation and technical controls to be in place. So before discussing the compliance part, let's first understand what is PCI Security Standard Council and who formed it. PCI Security Standard Council or PCI SSC is an independent security standard body responsible for the development and management of payment card industry security standards on global basis. And the founding members are MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover Financial Services and JCB. So let's quickly take an overview of payment card industry. PCI SSC has developed many standards, or I should say a family of security standards to secure the processing of payment infrastructure. In these standards, PCI SSC has included many technical and operational requirements for protecting cardholder data. The different standards are basically covering three communities, which are merchant and service providers. So I'm just taking an example like PCI DSS is a standard which covers merchant and service providers. In the same way, for software developers there is a standard called PADSS, and for manufacturers there is a standard called PCI CP or PCI card production standard. So these three examples are just a few names among the series of standards which are developed by PCI SSC. Okay. So basically these all standards are created to cover the whole payment domain. Either you are a merchant, a service provider, a developer or a manufacturer, you need to comply with one or the other PCI standard. But in this session we will discuss only about PCI compliance. So now the question comes, who has to comply with PCI DSS? The PCI DSS applies to all entities that store, process or transmit cardholder data. It covers technical and operational systems components included in or connected to cardholder data environment. So if you are a merchant who accepts or processes payment card information, or if you are a service provider who provides services to the merchant, in both the cases you need to comply with PCI DSS. Okay. So on your screen you can see a basic transaction flow in which you can see the customer or the cardholder, the merchant, the service provider, acquirer, issuer and the brand network. So this basically shows how a transaction flows from cardholder to service provider and how it is going to acquirer and to the issuer. Okay. So PCI DSS is a standard with 6 control objectives with 12 requirements and 300 plus audit procedures. So these core requirements are, you can see on your screen, which are install and maintain a firewall configuration to protect cardholder data. Requirement 2 is do not use vendor supplied default for system passwords and other security parameters. Requirement 3 is protect stored cardholder data. Requirement 4 is encrypt transmission of cardholder data across open or public networks. Requirement 5 is protect all systems against malware and regularly update antivirus software or programs. Requirement 6 is develop and maintain secure systems and applications. Requirement 7 is restrict access to cardholder data by business need to know. Requirement 8 is identify and authenticate access to system components. Requirement number 9 is restrict physical access to cardholder data. Requirement 10, track and monitor all access to network resources and card data. Requirement 11 is regularly test security systems and processes. And requirement 12 is maintain a policy that addresses information security for all personnel. Okay. So in this slide we will discuss about the steps to achieve PCI DSS compliance in an organization. So as you can see, the step 1 is determine your level, step 2 is determine your scope, step 3 conduct the gap assessment based on the PCI DSS requirements, step 4 remediate the findings which are observed during gap assessment phase, and step 5 is final assessment or certification audit. Okay. So the step 1 is determine your level. So before determining your level, first decide whether you are a merchant or a service provider based on the kind of service you are offering to your customers. So after this, PCI SSC has defined some criteria to know your level based on the payment transactions that you are processing annually. Okay. So as you can see in this table, both Visa and MasterCard has defined the criteria that if you are processing more than 6 million transactions annually, you are a level 1 merchant. If your annual transaction volume is between 1 to 6 million, you are level 2 merchant. If your transaction volume is between 20,000 to 1 million annually, you are level 3. And if it is less than 20,000 payment transactions annually, then you are falling in level 4 merchant category. Okay. So in the same way, there are levels for service providers as well. So if you are a service provider and processing over 3 lakhs transaction annually, you are level 1 provider. If you are processing less than 3 lakhs transactions, you are level 2. Okay. So you can see here that there are only 2 levels for service providers. Okay. So till now you know your level, and based on the level you can decide if you need an on-site assessment by a QSA who will visit your organization, assess the scope environment and give you a report on compliance, or you can achieve the same by filling a relevant SAQ followed by quarterly network scan by ASV. So ASV is basically applicable in both the cases. Either you are calling QSA on site or you are filling a SAQ, relevant SAQ by yourself, but ASV is mandatory. If you are level 1, on-site assessment by a QSA is mandatory. For level 2, 3 and 4, you can achieve the same by filling SAQ, or you can voluntarily call QSA to conduct on-site assessment, but it is not a mandatory requirement for level 2, 3 and 4 merchants. Now moving to second step which is determining the scope of assessment. Okay. So in this step you need to think and find out all the locations and departments, processes, applications, systems, desktops, network components and service providers. So basically everything you can think of involved in the processing or storage of cardholder data. So even if you are confused about some component whether it should be in scope or not, consider it to be in scope of the assessment. So there are 3 categories of systems in the organization. So if you can see this diagram, the first one is CDE network, where actual payment data is processed, which is by default in scope of assessment. Category 2 is connected systems. So these are the systems which are not processing cardholder data, but these systems are providing some kind of services to CDE network, such as Active Directory, antivirus management server, DNS, DSCP, etc. Okay. So this is also in the scope of assessment. Now the third category, which is not in the scope or out of scope systems, which are not providing any kind of services to CDE network, and there is no connectivity between these systems and CDE network, such as HR systems or travel desk systems. Okay. So now the most important thing is, usually in an simple organization all the systems are connected to a common network, so it is quite possible for someone to reach to one system from another system. So it means all the systems which are falling under second category, which is connected systems, and we need to consider all the organizational systems in the scope of assessment, which is more complex and time, resource and funds consuming. So to save all of these efforts, it is always recommended to do a network segmentation to reduce the scope of assessment. Okay. So in this slide, you can see a scenario in which there is no communication possible between corporate network and CDE network due to presence of a firewall with strict ACL. And the corporate network is connected to shared network to use shared services through a firewall which is configured to allow only specific network traffic with specific ports and protocols. Okay. So till now we have discussed two major steps to achieve PCI DSS compliance, and after completing these two steps you need to conduct a gap assessment based on applicable PCI DSS requirements, remediate the gaps which are identified during the assessment, and you are ready for the final certification. And yes, don't forget to conduct quarterly network scan by ASV. Okay. So before wrapping up this session, so just wanted to tell that achieving PCI compliance is not a big task, but maintaining is. Okay. So to ensure security control continue to be properly implemented, PCI standards should be implemented in your BAU or business as usual activities, okay, as part of the overall security strategy of the organization. Okay. So don't leave the PCI related tasks for 11th hour. Divide the tasks into daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly and annual frequencies. Okay. So like you can see in this slide, okay, like the monitoring of security controls, antivirus, FIM, firewall, IDS, IPS, you can do it on daily basis. Okay. You can review the changes such as addition to new system or any kind of change management is there, you can do it on weekly basis. Okay. Then periodic review to confirm that PCI requirements continue to be in place. You can conduct this activity quarterly or maybe 6 monthly. Okay. So according to your business or according to the requirements, you can divide the all PCI DSS tasks into different frequencies and you can follow it. Okay. So the ultimate formula for PCI success is technology, process and people. So if these three are secure, as an organization, you and your payment business is secure. Thank you so much. This is my LinkedIn URL and I'll be happy to connect.